Welcome back. My name is Abdul Wahid Tanner, and I am building this 20-foot catamaran sailboat in my garage. And the last couple weeks have been a little cold outside. I even brought in one of my plants here to protect it from the cold weather. That'll be going out soon. It's just now starting to warm up again. But I'm about to make a fairly major change to the construction of this, and I wanted to explain what I'm going to be doing and why. So let's get into it. You can see that I've got this hull laying on its side, and the other hull is currently standing up. And the next step that I was going to do after sanding the hull sides was work on this edge. You can see here that there's a lot of gaps, and the epoxy is still squeezed out in places. So I was going to be filling in those gaps and rounding that over. But when the hull is laying down, I can only get to one edge at a time. And when the hull's standing up, well, I can't really get to either edge. The ideal orientation for these hulls is to flip them upside down. But can't really do that because the bulkheads extend all the way up to the cabin roof, or the top of the cabin where that will be. And I was wondering if I made a mistake in interpreting the plans. I don't think I did, but I did ask the designer of the boat about this, and he said that it's okay to cut these bulkheads off at the shear line. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do, and that would allow the hulls to be turned upside down, and once they're upside down, I'll be able to not only work on both of the edges at the same time, but I'll be able to ferret and fiberglass completely around. So what I mean by that is, here, let me come up to the bow here. If this is upside down, I'll be able to put fiberglass along this edge, wrap it around the bottom, and go all the way around to the other side. That's the ideal way of doing it. And I couldn't do that right now because it's very difficult to turn these hulls upside down. So I'm going to cut those bulkheads off and cut that top cabin stringer off and flip these hulls upside down. And there's going to be another benefit from this. So here's another thing that I've been thinking. If you've been following along, you'll know that the original plans for this boat have it at about 5.2 meters long. And I don't know what that works out to in feet, probably maybe 16, 17 feet or so. And I've lengthened this boat to about 20 feet, or about 6 meters. And I've also increased the width of each of the hulls by a few inches, but I never really increased the height. And one of the reasons I didn't increase the height, well, the main reason is I need to make sure this boat will fit out of my garage door. So you can see here's the cabin top stringer, and it's very close to the height of the opening when I open the garage door. And one of the problems is, the reason for that is I built this on a build platform. All right, so I might be rambling a little bit here, but I'm trying to collect my thoughts and explain what's going on. I did not increase the height. I also did not increase the width of the overall catamaran width. And the original width of this boat was about a little over 8 feet. And maybe I was going to increase it to 8.5 feet. That would keep the legal limit of the sailboat and keep it trailerable without a oversized load exception or permit required. The safest width for these catamarans that I've been able to find is about half of their length. So ideally, I'd want to make this about 10 feet wide. If it's 20 feet long, I'd want to make it 10 feet wide. Well, when I built this build platform, I built the build platform at just a little over 8 feet wide. Now, since I'm going to be cutting these bulkheads off, that means when I go to rebuild the bulkheads, I could build these bulkheads just a few inches taller. Just enough that I'll be able to stand up inside the hulls. Right now, I'm almost going to be able to stand up. So I think there's a lot of benefit of cutting the bulkheads off, making them a little bit taller, making the boat a little bit wider. But what that means is I'm going to get rid of the build platform. I'm just going to be building directly onto the concrete garage floor. When I originally did this, I decided to use a build platform because I thought that would be the easiest way to get the boat out of the garage, because there are wheels underneath the build platform. But the build platform takes up about 7 inches of height from the garage floor up to the build platform. That's 7 inches that I could be using when I rebuild the bulkheads. So all of this is coming together. I think there are a lot of benefits. If I get rid of the build platform, one, that gives me the extra height to be able to build the boat just a few inches taller, so it'll be able to fit out the garage still without the build platform. Getting rid of the 8-foot wide build platform means that I'll have a much easier time making the boat a little wider, maybe even up to 10 feet wide. And also, just flipping the hulls over is going to enable the fiberglassing and the finishing and fairing of the hulls much easier, rather than trying to lay them down, stand them up, lay them down on the other side, and so on. So that's the plan. The main thing is I'm going to cut the bulkheads off, flip the hulls upside down, and finish them off that way. And then when it comes time to rebuilding the bulkheads, I'm going to get rid of the build platform and build the bulkheads a little bit taller, so I'll be able to stand up inside the boat and potentially make the boat a little bit wider as well. So, all right, I think that's enough. I've talked a lot, and I'm going to end this video here. There's not much work being done, but the last couple weeks, while it's been cold, has given me time to really think about this, and time to contact the designer, and I think this is the way to go. So, all right, that'll be all for this video. Bye.